Enter stage right. Look upon a world by the name of Earth. One small world amidst the infinite expanse of the void, a marble amongst the playthings of the cosmos. But like all worlds with a spark of life vibrantly buzzing away upon them, this world is the source of innumerable tales. And for now we step our gazes down to the northern reach, to a city known to its residents as the Crossings, to meet with 5 little souls being drawn towards the inexorable spinning of the wheel of fate that has arisen within this city, turning like the arms of a rickety windmill caught in the wind. Kai Eline, a former con artist who finds their failing business crying for a return to old habits. Miguel Carabas, a quick mind hidden behind a neutral face with a knack for going unnoticed. Delilah Aegir, an acolyte and a scoundrel with tastes as dark as her faith. Frank Diaz, a formerly known and beloved artist, brought low by loss, now a shadow of his former self. And Alistair, a nobleman with a family history steeped in knowledge of things best left unnoticed, who has embraced his lineage, for better or worse. This is a tale of shadows. This is a tale of betrayal, monsters both seen and unseen, and bloodshed. And from the void beyond lays the inexorable power of a being known only as the Demon Lord, who waits eternally to claim this world, as it does all others in time. And these 5 will fight on beneath the shadows of the Demon Lord. Raise the curtain. Speaking of the Northern Reach and the Crossings, this is where we will find our players for today. Introduced just a moment ago, of course. Now, the City of the Crossings, kept in the Northern Reach, is a bustling sort of city with a varied populace, primarily made up of humans, with halflings sort of making up the rest of the general populace, but, speckled with orcs and dwarves and goblins and all kinds of fantastic creatures that are hidden away in nooks and crannies, but you're not going to find too many shocking things in a city like this, of course. Everything is just fine. The city is split into various sections that are named for the convenience of both the visitors and us watching from beyond the veil. A district such as Coins for trade, the district of Gavel for political and judiciary affairs, the area known as Grievings, a poor area of the city run by a criminal enterprise known as the Guild, which sets its own rules for its members, 2 of which are among our merry crew. There's the area known as Purse, which is where the rich people tend to live, including a certain member of our crew with a burned-down house who's trying to keep himself alive the only way he can, living off the land, living off of the charity of others, and living off the remains of his good name. There's Redemption, the district where many religions come to mingle, and one of our members goes to give away all he earns throughout the day in hopes that he'll be rewarded in the afterlife. There's Smokestacks, an area of engineering and industrialism, and there are the Tankards, an area next to the Dark Waters Lake, an area thought to be haunted by fairies, which is in no one's best interests. No one but the fairies, that is. So, for now, let's have each of the players introduce themselves, starting with Alistair.
So first off, I'll be playing Alistair Very. Some of you might be familiar with me as Arlian, the person who more or less is the face of both the Crit Hit channel and the Twitch channel. My character's a noble who sort of delved a bit into the arcane, but still just sort of scratching at the surface of it. Anything else I should really address there? I mean, I guess there's the wailing child I might need to address.
Nah, that'll be fine for now. Kai Line.
So I'm CJ, and if you guys watch the Twitch streams, you might have seen me there. I'm a mod, and I do art stuff on YouTube under the name CJ Ninja, and I play Kai Line, a Farron, so he can turn into a cat, con artist who tried to run a business and isn't doing so hot. So, old habits.
Frank Diaz.
I'm Jack, also known as Shrimp. You may have seen me edit a few things for Crit Hit. I'm going to be playing Frank Diaz. He's an old man, 71 years old, who used to be pretty famous for his writing until his wife died, his beloved wife. That is all he thinks about now, and he's turned to the cult of the new god for
Emotional support.
Yeah, emotional support. And he might be a little bit off. That's about it.
Delilah Aegir.
Hi, I'm Luby, and I play Delilah Aegir. You probably know me from various Crit Hit stuff, such as some of the interviews and older shows that we've done, as well as the streams. Delilah is a bit of an oddball, and she makes most of her time using others to do her bidding, as well as taking advantage of grieving families to join her little cult of people.
And finally, Miguel Carabas.
Yes, I am Virus, also known as Miguel Carabas. You can find me on Twitch, which you've probably seen me, but I am so very bland as my character that you have probably forgotten me. I hope to become the completely outstanding gentleman of society that I know I am.
All right. And with that, it is the beginning of what seems like a typically normal day here in the Crossings. Where is everyone? So, we would probably find Alistair Very, you'd be at your home to start the day, correct? So, up in Purse, waking up in ash and dust, and no, I'm not going to sing the song, but in ash and dust and the remnants of your old home, but you've grown used to it by now. You've probably found a reasonably comfortable area you can rest in.
Not all the rooms went up in flames after all.
Exactly. There has to be one left half standing.
So at that point, it's going to like the slightly fire-touched wardrobe and picking one of the suits that have been somewhat well-maintained. They're all a little bit soot-touched at this point, but still presentable. Changes into that, adjusts it a bit, fetches his glasses, gathers his book and that scroll he's been studying, and then he goes to, I suppose at this point it'd be to go and check up on a family friend who is looking after what I could only, I guess, specify as a gift his sister left him that he was very not happy to receive.
All right. We have Frank Diaz. I assume you're waking up at the church, correct?
Yes.
So since you don't have a home, you tend to sleep in the church on nights like these, nights like anything, honestly. Because, even in as nice and safe a place as Crossings, where nothing bad ever happens, of course, it's better to take precautions. So what would Frank be doing just when he got up?
He's just gonna wake up and he's like, to the windmill, to the wall. Maybe I should go into singing. Well, better start my day. And he's just walking through the church, not doing anything in particular.
All right, so he's just sort of waking up at this point?
Yeah.
All right. Delilah, where would we find you?
You'd probably find her lurking around trying to hear rumors about recent ongoings of the people, seeing if there's anyone new that she should research and try and target.
Okay, that works. Miguel, where would we find you early in the morning?
Oh, you would find me in my modest abode. Unless I've convinced someone else to allow me to spend the night.
You have not. In fact, you may need to stay low for a day or three because your attempts to convince someone to let you stay the night ended up with their larger, older brother and the larger, older brother's two larger, older friends angrily pursuing you.
Thank you for rolling the first official one of the game.
Ah.
So maybe you're laying low in grievances for a little while, the poor district, to try and keep people off your trail?
Probably.
All right. And Kai, what would you be doing early in the morning?
He prefers to sleep as a cat, so he probably found somewhere. He probably has a little space that's fairly protected to sleep, and so he has to like hop down of that and probably change back to being human to see what he could do guild wise, because he's given up on his business.
All right. So kind of looking for, just something he can use to get things going, take his mind off the failure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will start with Delilah. And in fact, we can probably start with Kai too. Kai, you're going in to try and speak to the guild about places you can maybe do some work, things you might be able to pilfer. And Delilah, you're around that area trying to listen for rumors. And you're hearing people talking about recent disappearances. They're just mumbling to one another. They're saying you should stay off the streets at night. And you hear one older man warn another. It's, you can't stay outside at night at this point. There's something going on in grievances. They're trying to get rid of us. I swear. Someone's upset the fairies. Something.
Do I hear this or just Delilah?
That would be mostly Delilah, but you're able to pick up bits of it. I mean, you have pretty good hearing, don't you?
Yeah.
Delilah thinks that this is entirely possible because fairies can be nasty little things.
Oh, they can be
and
terrifying.
And she's quite superstitious, so she's going to be like, yeah, that sounds like it. I should better look out.
They're saying, there is one individual, by the way, Delilah, that you probably do know around grievances specifically. I'm not sure if he would be someone you dislike, because he might be seen as a rival, but he's a real champion of the downtrodden. His name is Father Gregory, and he works in grievings almost specifically, like only in grievings. He keeps a small shrine, and he's always there for anybody poor. He's trying to back them up. He's trying to help them. Maybe you've been able to use that to your advantage and get him to send people your way, or maybe you two don't like each other at all. But apparently, you can hear him saying that when the disappearances started, Father Gregory went off immediately to try and find out what was going on, and no one has seen him since. He's been gone for a few days.
Good riddance.
Fair enough. And of course, Kai, you are also hearing this.
Okay, that's quite a big of a deal to me. I'm not in the whole religious sect of working.
All right. So that's a bit there. Now, Frank, now you are there. You're wandering the church. You're just kind of trying to get your mind focused so that you can get some writing done. You can make some money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the father here in the local church, Father Deary, and yes, people do kind of mock him now and then for his name, but regardless, he seems fairly cheerful about it. He's kind of a portly man. He clearly enjoys life. Probably not off the coffers of redemption of the church or anything, but you never know. Well, of course he wouldn't. He's a holy man. Anyways, Father Deary is actually approaching people, and he's laying a hand on them, and he's speaking to everyone individually, and you can see him speaking in hushed tones. He's got a kind of a nervous crease on his. So what do you think? Are you kind of staying where you are for now, or are you trying to approach, or are you kind of getting out of there because you don't really want to be taken aside by this guy?
I'm going to go up to him and say, Father Deary, nice to see you. Glory to Astrid and the new god.
And he turns and says, oh, glory to Astrid and the new god, yes. Frank, I must speak with you. It's very important. Father Gregory has gone missing.
Father Gregory?
Yes, you remember, he's always down in grievings. He's trying to help people and bring them together and assist them, raise their lives up as your life has been raised up. But he's gone. We haven't seen him for days.
Has anyone heard anything of what might have happened to him?
I don't know. I know he was investigating some sort of disappearances, but that's all I know.
Well, I've been helped out a lot by the church, and I want to help out in turn. Maybe I can look into it. I know a few people.
Anything you can do, of course, but don't put yourself out. That would be very dangerous.
Oh, there's no danger that will stop me.
He gives you a bit of a worried look at that. Just keep your writings in mind, Frank. Keep your writings in mind.
Fine. I'll be careful.
Mm.
And then I guess Frank will probably wait. What did they say he was? He's looking into.
Well, he said that Father Gregory had been looking into some disappearances down in the Grievings, which is the the general poor region. It's very packed with people. It's right next to Tankards, which is all the the ale and the bars, things like that.
Okay, so I'll be heading over to Grievings in that case.
So you're headed this now. Miguel, you're hiding out, right? To try and keep from having your head beaten in.
Yeah, I'm mainly just hiding out.
Okay. So you're hiding out there, and you're hearing some people talking now. As I said with Delilah and Kai, you hear people muttering about these recent disappearances in this area of town, saying people shouldn't be hiding out at night. People shouldn't be sleeping around here. There's disappearances. People are going missing. And say that ex-soldier, he was a good guy, and he'd been wandering around here for years. Seems like he's been touched in the head, but he's defended us, and now he's just gone. Someone just snatched him up. So you're hearing a few of these local rumors that apparently this area and the area around Tankards, which is nearby, is getting more dangerous, especially at night. Now the question is, you're kind of a con man, yes?
Yes.
So what kind of people would you know? Are you looking to know the downtrodden, the people who make good spies, like beggars? Are you looking to know the middle class who all kind of tend to know each other more closely so you can get favors? Are you going for the higher class people who might have more favors they can send your way?
Would probably be going for more like mid to high class. Mid class is probably the easiest one to get away with.
Probably, yeah. Okay, so
Because you don't want to do too many high-profile things, or else you get too known for bullshit.
It's true. It's true, you do. All right. So you're not too aware of who these people are. They're not really like people you've spoken with much, but you are aware at least of individuals. And again, you do hear them also talk about how Father Gregory, now him you would know. He's a middle-class guy, but he puts all his time and effort into trying to help everybody down here. He's in here. He's like trying to heal the sick, and he's bandaging people up, and he's like pulling fights apart. He's been like savagely beaten several times, but he goes at it anyways. Him, you probably know. He's been looking into this, and apparently he's gone missing.
Well, it's not like from that description he wouldn't have any number of enemies.
Yeah, he probably does have more than a few, though. Who knows if it's any specific enemies or just, somebody. Because you never know. Honestly, there's no telling in crossings, because as much as everyone would like to, especially in the upper districts, pretend that everything is always fine, anyone who's been in grievings for more than 10 minutes knows everything is not always fine.
Yeah.
And Alistair. So you're going to see a specific individual with a specific small struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question is, did you leave that with your sibling?
Considering
because your sibling is
missing, the sibling is there. I would think we'd probably have had a family doctor or something of the ilk.
Most likely, though, his services are probably not that common to you anymore. Family doctors still require being paid.
Would the church help with that then?
They'd help somewhat, yes. They're there for everybody.
Then, I'll go see one of the churches that maybe my family was more friendly with.
Okay, well, there are a few of those, but the one you probably know, it's a fairly common religion. It's one that a lot of people know. It's not like worshipping Father Death or anything, and there is actually a building for doing that in here. This is a very melting pot kind of town. Redemptions has a lot of different religions all in it at once. So the Church of the New God has a guy named Father Gregory. Now, Father Gregory is usually the kind of guy that's down in grievances. He's always down there helping people, trying to save them and all that sort of stuff, bring them into the church. But he has helped you on occasion. Like, you come in, and if he's there, despite looking kind of ragged or worn, he'll take time to speak with you or to bandage a wound you've got, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the whole situation of which I don't really have a residence that would take well to someone vulnerable to the elements. Like, I might have parts of it that'll be sort of warm, mostly insulated, but it's not a great place.
Yeah, not overly.
Yeah.
So that is going to take you a while to get there. That's like halfway across town from where you live. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I can check by the other things later. Plus, it brings me well on the way to saying hi to the sister.
Yeah, that it does. Well, switching quickly back to Kai and specifically Delilah. You are speaking with a few of the people you know, some guild members, and you do hear a little bit of information. Apparently, Vern, who's a blind beggar, he's got a filthy mouth. Like, he will cuss out anybody for any reason. Generally, he only gets money because he entertains drunk people who laugh at him when he's like telling them all the different ways their mother can inhale various things.
Oh.
They basically just pelt him with money because they find it hilarious and leave. But Vern, he's actually a member of the guild. he's paid to, like, he looks like an idiot and he sounds like an idiot, so people don't pay attention. He's kind of like the ears. He picks some things up, and Vern has gone missing.
Oh.
They think he might be one of the recent disappearances, and they say, like, this is not okay. Like, there's postings up saying they're looking for someone to look into this and take care of this, because if this keeps going, the brown cloaks aren't gonna, like, just let this keep going. They're gonna start attributing it to something because they have to. If it gets well known enough and other people that aren't, low lies and nobody start disappearing, the brown cloaks are going to look at the guild and all of you.
I mean, that might be a good way to get back on my feet also. Like,
they're not exactly offering top dollar, but they are, they're willing to cover some wages, shall we say. They're looking to cover like about a month of your general expenses if you can get this taken care of.
That works.
Now, that is a full price, which means if you have multiple people in your group, you're still splitting the money. But still.
Yeah.
So the question is, would Delilah and or Kai actually look at this as something that they want to take care of?
Yeah, Kai is kind of looking for, just trying to find business again, and he's like, I could handle that probably.
Delilah has to do something or the other to get a little bit to get by, so she's thinking, why not?
Okay. And actually, I think I can... Okay. So, you two are actually going to meet up here. All right, so you're saying, why not? Now, the question is, where would you start looking for something? Because there's a bunch of disappearances. It's not really... Well, obviously, it's not really well known what's going on, or else the guild would send somebody to take care of it. So the question is, where are you going? Now, again, you two know each other, so you're looking at the same posting. You two recognize each other. You know that you both work for the same sort of place.
You want to do this with me?
Delilah looks at Kai. Depends. Do you have a plan or any way to start?
Is there a specific? Is it just grievances in general that the disappearances are happening?
Grievances and tavern.
Tavern.
Or sorry, tankards. Excuse me.
Tankards. Well, I was gonna try to do some listening in around tankards before it got dark. See if anybody else knows anything besides what we've been hearing. And then maybe the fathers could... I know the church that the father who disappeared from is connected to, because I could swing up and check that, see if they know anything else.
And if we do solve it, how much are we going to split the pay?
I mean, evenly, I would assume, but I just need enough for a small place to stay.
Good. Was making sure you weren't too much of a crook.
Well, no more than what's required.
Now, at this point, Miguel, you're hearing these two ladies talking about, you're fairly nearby. You're hearing them talk about something to do with making money.
I'm a guy.
Oh, wow. My bad. Anyways, I'm still used to Victoria. All right. You're hearing, this man, this woman, they're talking about, making money. They're talking about finding something, making some cash. Now, that may or may not be something that actually interests you directly. You don't know what's going on, but it's opportunity.
Well, cash is always useful.
And besides, they're talking about splitting it, so maybe if you knew who to talk to, you could spice up the deal and get you all paid a little more.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of slide over.
All right, so...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So sorry to interrupt. I heard you're looking for something.
Kind of looking for people.
What a coincidence! I know people!
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. Is there some type of missing persons report going on?
There's a couple people who have gone missing.
Oh, I was unaware that anyone of note was going off. Reward money is usually only for those higher up.
They can make exceptions.
Oh, I see.
We don't recognize him, do we?
You're pretty sure you've never... No, what? Hold on. Let's do this.
He looks like every single other villager that you've ever seen.
Okay. The closest is Delilah. You kind of feel like you've seen this guy around before, and something in the back of your head says that's good for, you're kind of good. But you can't place him. You don't know him. And Kai, you have never seen this guy before. But he sure does act like someone who knows how to carry himself in these kind of situations.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to split more money. I don't know if I want to take him on.
Indeed,
Are
it
you
wouldn't be
actually saying that,
too
or-
much to have.
What was that?
It probably wouldn't be enough for us to have unless you have a specific idea or ways to get by that would make it much quicker and much more worth it. Or
Oh, my dear, I am the king of getting things done quickly. I know all
Alistair
types of
stares
it.
at you suspiciously. Quickly often means half-assed.
Yeah,
You dare impugn my honor?
Yes, I do. I don't know you.
I mean, if you're here, I doubt you have that much honor in the first place.
Just because I'm doing my due diligence in providing good charity work is no reason to besmirch me.
You're
I feel
doing
insulted.
charity work?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you have any ideas to find these people?
Well, I have certain people that I know that might be able to say a thing or two. They might have some idea of something that's going on. And if not, there's always that troublesome business with those fairies up at the dark waters. Ugh.
See, I've been hearing things about the fairies.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been down there before, so how much credence does that have? Credence?
Never underestimate fairies. Lord, it's just asking for trouble.
I mean, I'm not underestimating them. I just don't always believe what's on the streets.
Absolutely wise decision not to necessarily trust everything.
Yeah, so give us a reason on why we should trust you.
Because I'm going to make your life significantly easier. But we have to form a partnership first.
How are you going to make our lives easier again?
I have plenty of contacts in relatively decent standing places.
Do you think you could get us some more money for this specific job?
Depends on if any of them are looking for these people as well.
I'm going to look at Delilah.
But it looks like right now you don't particularly have very many leads of note.
That is true. And you do seem quite persistent, so we might as well take you on with us.
Right. So a three-way even split it is, yes?
I mean, you can't three-way even split. I mean, it depends on the amount of money, I guess. But yes, three-way even split. Sorry.
You can't freeway even split unless it's like 9.
Unless it involves the number 3.
I was thinking percentages, and I was like,
Wait. Crap!
How are we gonna get the 3 repeated in?
we start cutting
Math.
pieces
I mean,
of
they
coin.
have bits. They have bits for a reason.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Dude,
Oh, no.
D&D makes gays do math. We know this.
This isn't the criminal guild, it's the mathematician guild.
Okay, so you guys are kind of hashing out your deal there. So back on the other side, Alistair, you can see the thing there. So you're getting into the church. You're seeing, it's not Gregory, but you can see Father Deary, and he's focused on donations as far as you can tell. You're not exactly Mr. Like, you can size everything up in an instant, but you know people with a genuine interest versus people who are just kind of doing it. Yeah, I mean, look at your family. This guy just kind of seems to be doing it. He's speaking with that one Frank guy. Like, you know this guy. He's around. You may or may not have bought one of his things at some point.
There's assuredly something of his inside, like the library, whenever I disinter that from the ruins of my house, if anything's intact.
If it is, yeah. And, well, so I'll take a check here. And yeah, Jerry seems to be speaking to the guy. Oh, wow. Hey, Frank, you know, like, you can see out of the corner of your eye, Alistair Very. You know this guy. This guy's a noble. Like, this guy is, like, a significant, like, his family is, like, well-known all over the place. You didn't even know he was religious or that he even came here, but there he is in the flesh.
Oh, okay.
So he's walking in. He's looking a little... How are you looking there, Alistair?
Currently, it's like noble clothes. He looks fairly well dressed. It's just there's something a little off about it because it's like a little soot stained, and his face looks fairly clean, but there's still sort of like a dark smudge there, and he does not look like he slept well. Dark. Just to give it context, he's like sort of very pallid, a little bit like sunken looking. He's very slender with like brown hair that's been slicked back and glasses. And he's currently actually walking towards Deary and yourself. And he just sort of like, he looks at you and you get like that look of like recognition and a small nod. And he just sort of stands up near, but then just waits.
And I'll say, oh, as if it isn't Alistair Very, a noble.
Holy crap, this guy knows who you are.
He's like, oh, thank God. Someone not
acknowledges
shunning me.
I didn't know you worship the new god. It's good to see you here.
I give my due diligence. Certainly, family matters have made me reevaluate my connections to the church.
Well, it sounds wonderful.
It's like that gets like more of an awkward look from him, and then like a very nod, and it whilst not the phrasing that I would use, it could be worse. Father Deary, though, would you have a moment?
He looks at his... he kind of squints at you. Very, yeah, very. Yes, of course, very. Welcome. What is it you need? I'm sorry, I was speaking with my congregation. We've had some trouble recently, and I'm trying to keep everyone safe. What can I do for you?
Currently, I had a arrangement with Father Gregory. I can't see him present, so I was wondering if you might be able to help me with that. It's a family matter that he's been helping me attend to.
His face kind of falls at that, and he looks over at Frank and then a few others of the congregation. I'm afraid Father Gregory isn't here. He hasn't been seen in days. He went after those terrible disappearances off in Grievances and the Tankards. We haven't seen him since.
I'm actually looking for him if you have any leads.
Did he possibly... There is a young charge who was residing at your church. Would he have told you anything of that?
The charge, yeah, I'm aware of the charge. He said that he generally kept it...
Her.
Her, yes, he generally kept her with someone he felt she was safe with. So if he's gone missing, I can guarantee he's not the kind to be dragging her around in such terrible affairs. Though she's safe with someone he trusts.
Someone. You wouldn't have an idea of where she is?
He kind of has slightly raised eyebrows from before. The charge was not mine to take care of.
All right. No, I'm sorry for the Inquisition. It's just
The Inquisition
family matters in these times is, especially with these disappearances. It's very important to keep on top of this. I hope it will not come down to me offering my condolences on Father Gregory's absence. I can only hope he's perhaps found a lead on this terrible business.
I hope so as well, but we don't know where he is. He's just gone. He hasn't been back for several days.
My character's like inwardly like, oh fuck, where's like my niece? Oh fuck. Yeah, by the way, so his expression is like a really forced, pinched, and just looking like a little more drained every moment. Would anyone know where he was last seen?
Well, wherever he went, to grievances or to tankards, he must have gone somewhere. If anyone's seen him, they might be down there.
Did he perhaps leave a note or something for... would his office have a note perhaps for anything that he might have left for me if he was going to look into such a sordid matter?
He kind of rubs his chin. He not with us. He did run his own shrine in Grievings. Perhaps you could check there.
Okay. Frank, you seem to have some sort of concern for Father Gregory. Would you perhaps be so kind as to accompany me to Grievings? It's sort of a rougher area, and I do fear that my bearings may actually cause me to draw a bit of attention there that I'd rather not have.
Say no more, Mr. Alistair. I think we'll cover more ground if we work together. Let's head out.
That would involve splitting up, and I was actually suggesting we stick together. But yes, let's head out.
All right, so you're heading for the shrine that Father Gregory keeps in Grievings.
Yep, yeah, he's like, oh my fucking god, this already went so bad.
Speaking of which, snapping back to you other three.
Yes.
Miguel, you, of course, are trying to get them some leads, but as it seems you're fairly proficient in, you're just kind of walking in and talking straight out your ass as far as anyone can tell. So the question is, where are you going to try and lead them to? Because obvious enough, you don't have any leads. So what you have to go on is basically what you've heard. There's disappearances happening in Grievings and Tankards. And other than that, there was some priest named Father Gregory who was looking into it, and he's apparently gone missing as well.
Well, let's see. Would probably go would probably go into like coins and like Old Town, just trying to see if I can find anyone that I would know that might know something. And then after that would probably try to go just slightly into tankards.
Okay. Coins in Old Town, by the by, is a good like hour and a half walk just to get to coins, and to get to the to Old Town is going to take you a good 3 hours.
I'd just be doing like...
Now, you may have somebody a little closer you can speak to. You're not sure. People move. People die. You know. But
we'd try it on the way.
All right. So, and also, in order to get there, you're going to have to go straight through tankards, actually.
Very good. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's head out.
So you start heading that way, and along the way, because of plot convenience,
Hey.
Hey, guess who we run into?
you do happen to run into one of your old contacts, a now deposed member of the Church of the New God specifically, who he was removed after Father Deary kind of caught him skimming profits from the church. He, of course, denies anything. He says he never did it. In fact, he went as far as to blame Father Deary for it, which, of course, just got him shunned further. So he's actually not allowed back near the church at this point. But he was fairly prominent enough. He was hardly at the head of the church, but, you know, he was a good member. He used to spend a lot of time there. But at this point, he's just kind of somebody that you know, because he's certainly not doing much with the church anymore. That said.
I don't know that he would know anything, but there have been quite a few disappearances. He might know something. It is Alistair, yeah?
Oh, no, it's not actually.
Oh, it's not,
No,
okay.
it's just a generic NPC guy. I have no real actual ties to the church.
Okay, I thought it was like convenience.
Not that convenient.
Not quite that convenient. This guy's name is Gong.
Long.
No, Gong. G-O-N.
Pardon.
Okay.
The wind. With the wind.
Go!
The guy kind of looks up. He's not really old. He's like mid-40s or so. He keeps himself in decent shape. He's shaved himself bald. He's kind of got a sloped, overarching eyebrow, and eye sockets for that matter. He kind of wears generally brown clothes, keeps a backpack on. He turns. Oh. Do I know you? Oh, that's you. What's your name?
Tulio.
Yes, of course. He really definitely seems to know your name is Tulio. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Hey, listen.
What do you want?
You're quite the man about town. You know things that are going on. Have you heard anything about these strange disappearances?
Of course. Anyone in this area of town knows about the disappearances. There's two. Oh, there was 4 last I heard, but...
Oh yes, terrible business that. Do you happen to know anything about who or what might have been taking them?
Of course not. If we knew that, we'd just report it to the damn guard and have them take care of it.
Well, I mean, really, the guard is kind of...
Yes, I know. They're just like the guard anywhere. They protect the rich and forget the poor, but regardless, it might save their own skins at some point, so I'm sure they'd try something. At least I hope they would.
I would hope.
He kind of reaches up one thumb and smudges it against his chin. See. Oh, what are you looking into this for, anyways?
Oh, no particular reason.
He looks at the two with you. He looks specifically at Delilah. Don't I know you?
Do you?
I feel I do. Tulio,
Yes?
I don't know what's going on with these disappearances, but don't go sticking your nose in things and getting yourself killed. It's probably not worth it. Just stay out of whatever's going on. You're just going to end up getting yourself hurt. It never helps anyone to mess with whatever's going on, he says in a bitter tone of voice. Just ends up with you in the mud.
Leaning in closely, the other two can't hear. But I have to stick my nose into this because they might come after me next. What was that about saving one's own skin again?
Listen, I heard that Gregory is looking into this. Maybe he's down at his shrine. You can go speak to him.
Fair enough.
It's just 8 streets down, and then take a right, and then when you see the building with that black X on it, the one with the blood on it, you just take a left there, and you should be where you're going.
Right. Very well. Very well. Shall we? Motion to the two and start going off. Thank you, my good sir.
He kind of mumbles and waves his hand.
I guess as they're walking, Kai's like, so who was that?
Oh, just an old friend. No one of supreme importance, but well enough known around town.
Okay. Interesting.
Start heading toward the shrine.
All right. And you're heading towards the shrine, and at the same time, someone else is heading towards the shrine, and wouldn't you know it, da-da-da-da.
Now it's plot convenience.
Now it's plot convenience.
Super plot convenience.
Anyways. So, the 5 of you arriving not at the exact same time, but pretty close to the same time.
Which one of us gets in there first?
Kai, he's 5'3". He just pushes through everybody's legs.
Fair enough. Okay. So, let's arrive first. So Kai, along with Delilah and Miguel, are going to arrive first. Alistair and Frank, you're kind of arriving about a minute or two later.
Fair enough.
Okay. So there, you kind of see that the shrine isn't exactly like a giant building, of course. It's a place of modest worship. You can see pews and an altar. There's an icon of Astrid pierced by swords. Astrid being the new god that they speak of.
I mean, I was expecting a shack since those in grievances, so grievings.
Yeah, it's a pretty ramshackle building, but there is a door that you see in the worship area. It seems to lead off somewhere.
I mean, already an improvement over a bunch of buildings and grievings. It has a door.
It does, and that's astounding. Good on him. It looks like the community may have banded together to help him because it's pretty mangled, but everybody does tend to like Father Gregory. Everyone, Delilah.
Gregory.
Gregory.
He's Father Gregory.
No.
So yeah, since Alistair is not even mincing time, it's like the moment he gets there, he gives a glance around and goes like, Gregory? And then it's just like, to the back.
Well, before he arrives, the first ones to arrive, of course, are the other three. Now, this is what you see when you get here, pews and altar. It's a ramshackle building. It's in okay repair. It's clearly been used to heal people a lot because it smells like blood in here and other things.
I mean, I'm assuming most of grieving smells like blood.
It does, but you can generally tell places where it's more prominent because as opposed to that faint idea in the back of your head, it's like, oh, blood.
Blood.
Exactly.
Hello?
There doesn't appear to be an answer.
Are we the only people in here, or are there other?
Currently, you're the only people in here.
Start working my way towards what I assume would be the back.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the front. Maybe he just can't hear us.
Maybe it's... How big is this building?
It's not very big. Like, there's maybe 3 rooms in this entire place.
Okay. Yeah, so guess I'm just kind of looking around, making sure there's no fresh blood or anything to step in.
Okay. No, there doesn't seem to be any fresh blood. Anything seems to be a bit older.
Okay.
So Delilah, sadly, this place does not smell wonderful to you.
But yeah, head to the back.
Okay. So you're heading to the back. I believe 2 of you are heading to the back. Delilah, how about you? What are you doing?
I'll follow them.
Okay, just kind of shows up like, sure, why not? Go look for the damn priest.
Set fire to the altar or something.
No, that would burn the whole place down. And they are looking for leads. Maybe after. However, yeah, they're all heading to the back, and as they are, Alistair, Frank, you arrive and you find that the door at the shrine is open.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like a shrine. We might as well head in.
Concurred. Which he, like... I mean, since I have the staff, I guess it's more of a walking stick for him. He just sort of hops it up, so he's, like, holding it by the midsection of it, and is... he's just quick stepping inside with, like, a... Father Gregory, are you present?
So you 3, you're walking through this door in the back. It's leading down a short hallway with a door on either side. Now, as you're heading down this hallway, you hear Alistair back there going, Father Gregory, are you present?
I'm gonna turn back. I'll be like, I'll go see what's up with those people. If they're people who come to the shrine, what's that called?
Worshippers?
Yeah, worshippers, followers.
Patrons.
Then tell him that he's not here right now or whatever. So Kai's gonna walk back, poke his head into the main room and be like, Gregory's busy at the moment, so we have some business to discuss with him. Just kind of lying since we don't know where he is.
Okay, so Alistair and Frank, this man just kind of pokes his head out and just does that. He just pokes on, excuse me, Gregory is busy at the moment, and the rest, of course.
Busy, so he's not missing. In that case, I have business I need to... And just like, you get that thing where the guy's like super like in your face. He just like basically speed walks over to you with like the cane staffy thing and is like using it to like point / push at you with it now, like your business can wait then, as I have a charge I need to attend to and I will not be hindered by you.
How tall is your character? Just as a question.
I mean, 5'8".
5'8", okay. Because I was like, if you were like a 6'2" dude, that would have been hilarious. But Kai just like pushes back at your staff or whatever, and he's like, really, I think you should wait for a few more minutes.
Now, Frank, are you getting involved in this particular altercation, or are you just kind of sitting back and watching?
I guess I'll get involved. Oh, excuse me. I think we could be a bit nicer. You seem to be Father Gregory's assistant, yes?
Yes.
Apparently, most people at the new god where he works, we seem to think he's missing. No one's seen him in a while. Do you know where he's been?
Yes, he's been busy for the past few days. But really, I have some business to attend to, and I'm gonna backpedal, head to where the rest of the group is.
It's following after. It's like, well, I'm not waiting, considering that the welfare of a child is currently resting in his hands.
Okay, well, maybe you shouldn't have put the kid's life in his hands in the first place.
So in the meantime, Miguel and Delilah, since you went down the hallway and there's a door leading to either side, one left, one right. Where did you go?
Do either of them look like ajar or tampered with?
That doesn't look ajar or tampered with at a glance. You can stop and just kind of try and peer and see for yourself, but that will take like a minute or so. So not that long, but there are people arguing in the back, or in the front, I should say.
Always go left.
Always left.
The right path and the path left.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so you're going left. All right. Go. Okay, so you open the door, and it is unlocked. So you head inside, and you see what looks like a small room with a pair of bunk beds, so 4 beds total. They look pretty filthy. Better than some of the beds that you've seen. It looks like somebody at least washes these on occasion, but they're still pretty, broken down. It looks like they've been overcrowded, so the mattress is basically flat on all 4 of these things. The supports are not looking the best, so these may actually collapse sometime soon if too much weight is put on there. Other than that, there's not a lot in here.
Well, if there doesn't seem to be much of anything there, I'm going to quickly try to check the other side. Like the other door.
Okay. So you're checking the other door, and about this point, you're seeing Kai backpedaling and mumbling something about have some business to attend to, and then is walking after going, well, I'm not going to wait, it's a child's life. And behind him, there is a very old-looking man who's sort of just like hobbling after him, going, excuse me, I think we could be nicer with each other, And this is what you see coming towards you. And Delilah, presumably, you see this too.
Question, by the way. By what name do I know your character, Virus? Considering we've both had dealings with the wonderful Wizard of Crossings.
You probably would know. You probably would, or honestly, that's a really good question because it would probably be either Miguel or Tulio.
Or somehow both.
Somehow both. You assume that I go by multiple names.
He is Magulio.
Magulio.
Maguka.
I am Miguel, and I am Tulio, and together I am Miguel and Tulio.
Also called Magulio. All right.
So it's like pushing it after into this room, stops, gives Kai like an extremely black look, and just like a flatter look over at Miguel.
Kai gives a look back.
Feelings. And it's like, it's a flat look at Miguel, and then just like, wait, am I sure it might not be though?
Is that actually him? I think it's him. Alistair! Yes. So glad you could join us.
Oh, it is you. Okay.
Is he Father Gregory?
Yes. We have business with Father Gregory. I take it you're the business that his apprentice here stated he was currently dealing with, and nudge at.
We're currently trying to deal
Kai
with him.
pushes you back. You pushed him with your staff. He's kind of like, stop touching me.
Stop touching.
We're trying to deal with him. We haven't had any luck actually seeing him yet.
Pardon?
Well, we haven't checked everywhere. This person hasn't exactly been, well, they haven't been helpful, really.
You, choir boy, where is Father Gregory?
I don't know.
Just gonna start opening the other door and see if I can see anything.
Okay.
Now, this one does appear to be locked.
Gonna knock on it.
Okay. So you're kind of talking with one another, and this Tulio or Magulio, if you prefer, reaches up and boom, 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 on the door. None of you hear any answer.
Father Gregory!
You hear nothing.
Yeah, I figured.
On the other side, I'm just taking a bath. Not really. Continue.
Shut the door, I'm naked!
How does, for a intimidate check, because at this point, Alistair is just, like, fucking livid. How would that work against, I mean, in general, but also, I guess, in regards to dealing with choir boy?
Anyone have a way into this door?
I wouldn't believe I'm skilled in lock picking.
Okay, well, if you're just trying to kind of intimidate Kai here, you are making a will check.
Which I have a lovely will score of 12. Which
All right,
means,
so you rolled a +2.
Yes, because we only use the stats either under or above 10, with 10 being a neutral number. Tutorials, the more you know.
PvP on the first session.
All right, so Alistair, so this kind of noble-looking guy with sooty clothes, look kind of tired, is shouting at you like he's trying to intimidate you and waving his staff in your face, wow, and trying to get you to buckle. You rob people?
Yeah.
This isn't really intimidating.
I mean, I was honestly thinking, like, does he look like I could rob him later when he's leaving? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Quite possibly.
I mean, yeah, it's just like you haven't rolled a recognition check. You're like, yeah, he's probably a noble. He probably has stuff. Oh,
So, like, you're trying to intimidate him, and he's just kind of like glancing over your fancy clothes, just making a mental note.
yeah.
Just so punk this guy. Yeah, no worries. Okay.
You
so
said you knew where he is. Where is he? Clearly there was business. What's
Have you not-
the new god's name, choir boy?
Okay. I'm assuming you haven't been around grievings that much.
No, I haven't crawled out of the gutter recently. Thank you for noticing.
I mean, not gonna comment on the ash on your...
I mean, that would have been fair. I left that open for you.
He's kind of like, should I? I don't want to get whacked with a stick right now.
He would have whacked you with the stick.
Probably. He's like, well, you need to start not making assumptions. You assumed I need
stated you were working for him. You stated you knew where he was.
You asked me a question and I gave you the answer you wanted to hear. I had hoped you would leave us alone.
I see why you're in his company. Thank you for clarifying that.
I don't know this man.
That doesn't matter.
Miguel is currently, by the way, in the middle of trying to open the door, kind of trying to poke at it, see if maybe there's a secret way to...
Is it like just like a locked door? Is it... I mean... Can I smack it with a stick?
Right, to smack it open with a stick, yes.
Would I have any lockpicking abilities?
I suppose you can take a look. Do you have any skill and sort of thing? Like, do you have that as something you're...
I don't think so.
Tulio, Frank, one moment if you'd help me.
Hold on.
Sure.
I'm going to try and see if between Frank, myself, and Tulio, since we're in mixed company, if we can like leverage open the door with a stick.
Speaking
I
of
suppose.
Delilah, what are you doing during this? Are you just kind of like sitting there glaring ominously at people, or?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Like
just kind of...
drama, I'm not actually getting in this.
Yeah.
All I imagine is just the like blank stare off into the distance while everyone else is doing everything. Just, I'm bored.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
All we know is the first money she's getting is devoted to a nail file, so she's gonna be like, shh, shh, shh. Are you done?
Oh, I suppose that he could be trapped in there, so it would be worth a little property damage if we could possibly save his life.
What would be the role with all of us working together?
Well, basically, you would decide that those of you with the lesser strength check, I believe all of you have a strength of 10.
I don't.
Pretty sure.
No? What's your strength?
Mine's a 9.
Okay, so you'd be a supporting role. And the other two both have a 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, so Alistair and whoever rolls first are rolling to try and support. Who wants to be the official roller? It can't be Alistair. He's support.
I would think the official roller would probably be Miguel because he's not a 70-year-old man. Unless suddenly Frank just flexes and it's like old man bicep.
Old man Hogan.
It would probably be me as the main one.
So both Frank and Alistair will roll a strength check. If they can get a 10 or higher, then they provide a boon.
Pop.
And a boon. All right, so I'll explain that in a second. So you're adding a boon. Frank, go ahead and roll. Okay, so Frank fails. You are not providing anything. So Miguel, you're rolling with a boon. So you're rolling a strength check, and then you're also rolling an extra d6 on top of it. Now, how boons and banes work is very simple. You add your boons, and you subtract your banes. If you have more boons than banes, then you roll that many d6s, but you only add the highest result to your check. So you can roll 100 d6, but you're only adding the highest number rolled, which is at that point probably a 6.
Yeah.
No, they're all ones.
And it's possible mathematically. And if you have more banes than boons, then you roll those d6s and you subtract the highest number rolled. So in this case, you're making this check with 1 boon.
Holy shit.
Okay, so Miguel, you get a little bit of help from Frank. It's really not much, but Alistair gets that stick and he wedges it, and as he does, it kind of clicks into the door, giving you a perfect opportunity. And with one quick nudge of your shoulder, not only do you open the door, but you pop it right open, and it's just kind of like sweeps the lock, and it slides open. It doesn't look like it was broken either. Like, it doesn't look like it's been smashed. All it looks like is it was left ajar.
Yeah, folks, that was a nat 20. Just for context.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
In any case.
Jesus Christ.
Well, actually, it was a 17 plus 3, but regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still a 20, so the door is now open. And inside is kind of a cozy little place, not exactly well furnished, but it's got enough in there. You can see there's a cot for sleeping in. It's a little dirty, but still, what isn't around grievings? There appears to be a writing desk, and you can see there's a holy book on there. You can see some papers strewn about. There's a quill and a pot of ink. And there is a bag, which is tied off. It's small, looks like it fits in your hand. Can't really tell what's in it, of course. It's just a brown bag. You can see there is a chest in the room, and there's a holy symbol of the new god hanging up a nail on the wall.
So what would look like there'd be like a journal or a note, like the chest, like desk?
No. I mean, chests are mysteries until they're open, so it could have anything in it. The desk has paper on it, and the cot is possibly stuffed with notes, but more likely it's just stuffed with, draw and...
I'm going to check the desk. If anyone has any dispute with that, I work in paperwork, so I should be able to find any notes he may have left meant for me or anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the chest.
I was probably going to look at the desk.
If you want to help me, I mean, I know you're literate.
All right, so we've
shaded everyone else.
So we've got Miguel and Alistair checking the desk. We've got... Who's checking the chest?
Kai.
Kai's checking the chest. Frank, how about you? What are you doing?
I was actually going to go up and talk to Miguel while he's checking the desk or whatever.
Okay. And Delilah, how about you? What are you doing?
Nothing much right now.
Right, so she's just kind of like sitting back and keeping an eye on things, making sure you guys don't get jumped, perhaps?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Okie dokes. So she's keeping an eye on things. You're all rooting about. Okay. Frank, you may ask your questions or your conversation.
Excuse me, sir. I'm Frank from the Church of the New God. I was actually sent to find out where, what's his name? Where Father Gregory was. And since you seem to be looking for him as well, I was hoping we could possibly trade information.
Oh, information trading. Yes, of course. What pray tell do you know?
Well, we know that he was looking into the disappearances in this area. And then he seems to have gone missing himself. But I'm afraid that's about it. Do you know anything about either the disappearances or Father Gregory?
Currently, as far as Father Gregory, I know that he was working in this area and now he's gone.
Oh, what about the disappearances then? You know maybe how many people have been gone missing or...
Well, disappearances is kind of a hard number to pin down because some people just go missing every now and again, like myself. Sometimes somebody just thinks that I've been gone when really I've been standing right there. It's kind of an odd thing.
Interesting. Well, do let me know if you find anything out and maybe we can help each other.
Of course.
Sure. No.
Alistair's stopped to actually look at this exchange, because bear in mind his involvement in this was less, there's been a lot of disappearances, and it was specifically Gregory's disappeared and I should actually start caring right now because the rest went in one ear and out the other.
All right.
So it's like, what?
Well, Kai, you search through the chest. You can see some clothing in there. And you can see another symbol of the new god. And other than that, there's literally nothing in there.
Okay, well, I mean,
Suppose.
There's no reason to really take anything. Then I was hoping there would be some cash. But there isn't. So Kai just kind of closes the chest. Is there anything else you could search?
Well, there's the desk, but you literally have two people doing that.
Yeah, that's no thanks.
Okay. Now, as for Miguel and Alistair, you're searching through this desk, and you can see three specific things. Two pieces of paper. One just seems to be a scrap that has a rough sketch on it of some sort of horned skull. It's not done very well. It looks like it was just kind of written out in a feverish state. It's scratchy.
Oh, Sealy, does it look like the horned skull that's sitting beside our health counter / is sort of the logo for the game? Little curly horns on the side of the head leading outwards.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Don't get this as a tattoo, Delilah. Oh, see, no, just don't do it. Though it would make a mighty fine cleavage window.
Anyways, so you find that on a scrap of paper, a sketch of a horned skull. You also find what looks to be a small vial, and inside the vial is a pale green liquid. You also find something that actually, who has magical knowledge, training in magical knowledge of any kind?
I have academic magic. And
I am a scholar of magic.
Okay, so you actually both recognize this. This is an incantation of a spell. You can
recognize what spell it is?
You can not yet. You'd have to do some research and study on it. But at the moment, you can probably guess that, assuming Father Gregory isn't secretly a devil worshiper. I mean, who would ever do that? Anyways, it's probably a Theurgist spell.
Huh. So there's, you know what? So I have academic, occult, and magic as my professions. Mm-hmm. I'm first off going to look at the little symbol and be like, do you mind if I pocket this, Tulio? We might be able to talk to our mutual mentor about this.
Go right ahead. I'd rather not have the rather creepy looking thing in my pocket. Yes.
Would we be able to make a check on the recognition of the liquid?
Is anyone here actually trained in things like alchemy or potions or poisons or anything along those lines?
I specifically only have training in academic, occult, and magic. So if it might fall under a knowledge that you'd get for learning about magic and the occult, I might be able to recognize it. Otherwise, no.
No.
It doesn't seem like anyone knows.
Nope.
So you'd need to actually have some sort of, probably formal training to recognize it at a glance.
Okay.
But hey, come on. It's a priest who's got it. Of course it's okay.
Okay, so it's stoppered and I guess pocketed, and I guess we can actually just take the scroll and probably either bring it to Deary, who might know what it is, or our mentor, and he might be able to recognize what it is.
Possibly, yes. Now, you are finding one more thing. It's a piece of paper that's fallen to the floor. It's kind of buried almost under the desk. You only see it really because your foot nudges it. But on the floor, there are two, there's a list of things that are all scratched off to the point where it looks like they were actually torn up because he just scratched them so hard. You can make out a letter here and there, but nothing really substantial. And until you get to the last two, and these two are circled, and you see, zoom in on that name here. You see Elise, as in A-L-Y-S-E, and Fallen Soldier.
Maybe the name of a contact?
These are actually two different things. So Elise, Fallen Soldier. Now, who is generally in grievings a lot? I know Alistair is not, and you other four are all in grievings all the time.
Yeah.
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 Okay. All right. So
Off and on.
actually, that's a good point. Okay, everybody make me a check, but except for Alistair, you don't make me a check at all. And
Thumbs up.
Miguel, you have enough contacts so you can just make a flat check. Okay, so all of you can just make me a basic check.
Basic check. It's just a D20?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, so two highest. Okay. So good job, Alistair. Your brain explodes. Okay.
Just
So,
results of a 1d20 minus 20, folks, to fill in the viewers.
So, Frank, Elise. You definitely know the name Elise, assuming that Alistair is actually saying this out loud and not just I'm just going to show no one this.
Oh no, he's going over this and he's like, I don't know, is this a possible contact? I know the location, sort of. Fallen Soldier's like a monument in grievings. That's all I should give a damn about.
Well, Elise, Frank, you know, as Sergeant Elise, who's someone who sort of wanders around looking for things. You know that she's not she's hardly the patron saint that Father Gregory was, of course, but she does tend to look out for little people. So she may have been looking into these disappearances as well. And as for, where are you? Miguel, the Fallen Soldier. Of course you know the Fallen Soldier. Who wouldn't know the Fallen Soldier? It's this rundown tap room. It's between a burned down building and a brothel. The guy who owns the place is kind of a shaggy guy, and he smells awful. But he's there all the time, so he's pretty reliable.
Ah, Sergeant Elise, I know her. She looks out for people sometimes.
Alistair's still like, yes, you guys can go check out the Fallen Soldier Monument, because that's what he's going with, like, of course I know what that is.
Oh, yeah. We'll go and have a grand time at the Fallen Soldier. Just kind of eyeing him like, are you crazy?
Are you crazy? Oh, right. Coins. In the interim, then, it seems like we have different locations we should go to. I have these that I might need to follow up on. There's 2 things which you seem to have a handle on. Perhaps we should check out those leads and then convene at a spot. The welfare of Father Gregory is of the utmost concern to me. I'm not entirely lying either. It's just it's like a means to an end.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, our plan was just to go to the Tankard district. That's what it's called, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Head that way and go to the Fallen Soldier.
Yeah. That won't be that hard.
So
Meanwhile, Alistair is probably going to Father Deary, I'm guessing?
actually, the wizard to identify the liquid and.
All right, we'll see him tomorrow.
Oh wait, would Father Deary would deal in like medication and other stuff, right? 'Cause priests.
Well, yeah, to
half
some
equivalent of doctors now.
to some degree, but no, there are still doctors. Priests, if they provide extra beneficial healing to people, they do it through their faith.
Okay, so 2 questions then. What would be the nearest church, and would there be one to, like, the Maiden and the Moon anywhere in this fucking city?
Well, there's definitely one of the Maiden on the Moon. Revelation. How does it call it Revelations?
Redemptions?
Thank you, Redemption. Redemption is full of all kinds of, like, buildings, and they serve basically every god under the sun and under the moon and under everything else.
Oh, wait,
it's just
they would
finding.
possibly also know what magic is, because, like, the Maiden and the Moon is, like, the god that sort of overlooks magic, right? Sort of. Knowledge magic.
There are likely people in there who know of magic, yes.
Okay, so I could probably go there, and then there's a location in Tankards you were saying we could meet at?
Well, we're going to the Fallen Soldier, which is technically up near Tankards.
Okay. So, in that case, and there was someone else one of you said was there, so is there perhaps I can go on this errand, find my leads, and then we can convene at a location with whatever I discover from these. Also, this liquid.
Do we have like a solid place we can meet, or are we just gonna meet at the Fallen Soldier?
So meeting at the Fallen Soldier sounds like a good idea.
Okay, and in that case, where would be the Fallen Soldier? It's that monument, right? But
It's not a monument.
She just like side glance, Julio.
Just staring at you. It's a bar.
Oh. Where would
It's fine.
be?
And I could accompany you, Alistair, and I could lead you there when we're done with your business.
That would be appreciated immensely.
Okay, so let's see. So you have Alistair and Frank, and you two are headed specifically back to Father Deary? Or are you looking for...
I mean, I guess we can check Father Deary, and if there's no leads there, we'll quickly check, like, the Maiden of the Moon, and then reconvene at the Fallen Soldier. I don't know if you guys are checking Sergeant Elite first, and then we're all going to the Fallen Soldier, or what?
Well, you need to find Sergeant Elise first, of course.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though Frank specifically, you would know Certainly actually isn't that hard to find usually, because once she sets her mind to look for something, she's generally just doing it over and over until it's done or until she just has to give up. So since these disappearances are still fresh, if she's looking into them, then you're probably going to be able to find her on Grievings like within a few hours, just because someone will have seen her.
Okay. Is the place we're meeting at, that's in Coins, right?
The place you're meeting at, like the Fallen Soldier?
Yeah.
That's up in Tankard.
Oh, okay.
Horville. It's in Horville. But true, it's where all the brothels and bars are.
Well, I was going to say maybe we should meet somewhere in Grievings instead. That way we can look for Sergeant whatever after we're done, whatever we're handling in our other places.
Oh, that's
assuming that we don't run into her in the Fallen Soldier.
Nah.
I mean, the Grievings is sort of a halfway point, and if we're going up and you guys are going like east, then we can reconvene like on Grain Way, sort of the road between. Would that make sense?
I think that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay, everyone. Now we put our hands in, huddle, and or no, that'd be awkward because you're all filthy peasants minus Tulio.
And
I don't say
And
that.
we all beat him.
I do not say that. I think it though.
You can think it.
Okay, so it's a thank you, Frank. Tulio, I suppose after you're done with your business at the bar, we can meet at Grainway, share our findings, and perhaps work at finding this Elise person that Frank seems familiar with.
He's heard of her.
Elise.
Heard of, familiar. It's
Quite.
yeah.
Continually eyeing, like, maybe I could pickpocket him on the way out.
Which one?
But, like, the guy that seems to have at least a little bit more of a plan, seems to be friends with him. Is that really worth it in case I get caught?
Oh, and secondly, you now seem to be aware that I have some familiarity with magic.
Eh.
You're like, yeah, justifiable risk. You didn't do it immediately. She can't be that bad.
Yeah. You tried to intimidate me and you're covered in ash.
As we saw before, Ash was not a good thing to mess
My
with.
victims. The remains of my victims.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
clearly the remains of his victims.
Shall we then?
Sure.
Okay, so the question is... The question is, who are we starting with?
Deal with the majority first.
Okay. So you all. So Delilah and
I forgot to
Hi.
breathe.
arrive at Soldier. At 3:30 p.m. Okay. So you three arrive at the Fallen Soldier, as said, around 3 p.m. What you can see is it's a rundown sort of place. It's 3:30. It's not exactly being frequented right now. In fact, it looks like it's barely opened. It's just sort of, it's open for the sake of technicality, but there's nobody's drinking there right now. You can see behind the bar is a portly kind of dude. He's got shaggy black hair and he's got a sweep of blisters kind of bubbling around from the back of his neck. He's got a bit of a just kind of scraggly stubble and a wart that spreads just below his lower lip. The tap room reeks of vomit and piss. And you can see a single bar with a few stools. There's a couple of tables. There's a hearth that doesn't look like it's been lit since ever.
They installed it and never used it.
Yeah, it looks like it hasn't been used since fire was invented.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this looks like an absolutely lovely place.
Nice
He
to say,
scrunches his nose up at the smell and is like, again.
So I'd say it doesn't look like there's much going on here in the afternoon, but it looks like at least the barman is here
He's
regardless.
there. He's alive, probably.
Hello, my fine sir.
The guy looks up. Yeah.
I was wondering if you might be able to answer a couple of questions, since, assuming you're, look around, not busy.
So he's kind of got a bit of a suspicious expression. Why? You a god? You gotta tell me if you're a god. He's saying guard, by the way, not god.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, I haven't been called a god in some time. No, I'm not a god.
Yeah, well, what do you lot want? He looks and he sees he kind of looks at the three of you. You know, Delilah, this gigantic, beefy woman who looks like she could like snap wood with her bare hands, just bending it. You've got, and in fact, actually, how does Kai look?
I have a face sketch of him that I posted in. Hold on.
Well, even just in general, like kind of
Yes.
alive, I guess.
Yeah, he's like a 5'3", green eyes, dark skin, lots of freckles.
Okay. So you actually fit in fairly well with certain elements of your
I
type.
posted it.
A lot of individuals in this town that are somewhat unscrupulous in the way they do things tend to actually have auburn hair. So you fit in real well. And finally, Miguel, you look, I'm guessing, fairly presentable so that you can make use of the fact that your face is bland as all hell, but at least your clothing doesn't make you look like a homeless beggar immediately.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
That would have been like the first thing I acquired from the favors that I was owed from being such a folk hero.
All right. So
Before
he looks you
forgot
over.
who I was.
He's mostly looking at Delilah because she looks the scariest of you three. And he's, what's the questions?
I was just wondering if you could maybe tell me if you've seen Elise anywhere.
Elise? You mean the sergeant?
I think that's what she was, yes.
She was around not too long ago. A night or two, I think.
I see. Have you heard anything about since then?
Can't say I pay that much attention to the guard.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair enough. Have you by chance seen some father? I believe his name is Gregory.
Gregory? Everybody loves Gregory. I haven't seen him for a few days. Suppose he's probably trying to help us all. After you heard about all those takings that are happening.
Oh, terrible business that.
And one of the patrons kind of looks up, and you can immediately see this person hasn't been sleeping for probably at least a day, and they are horrifying in the way that they smell of like cheap liquor. They have probably literally been drinking all night and all morning.
Oh.
Like they turn and they are a good 10 feet from you, and their breath is wretched. And he just, I have
faith in you, man. You can say it.
It's the hooded man.
Hooded man, you say? Is he trapped down a well?
It's me. No, it's Trout. Trout's gone missing.
Trout?
And he's been going on about that. And the barman looks at him. He says there's some hooded folk I've been walking around the back and then wandering around this part of town. He's been skulking in the alleys. But any time anyone tries speaking to him, he runs off. No one can find him. And right now he's mouthing off about some poor kid went missing. Trout, a little orphan boy. He's gone. But around here we have some good friends. Like Tyrus, he's an old soldier. He was touched by God, he was. At least that's what he claimed. I think he was touched in the head, but that's about it. Tyrus used to be saying the same thing as him over there, saying that he saw poor Trout get snatched by a man in a hooded cloak. At least that's what he says, but of course he's on the piss pretty much always. He's got himself a special bucket right there so he don't have to get up.
Indeed, there is in fact a bucket below this man, and it does not smell of beer.
No.
So no real telling. He's not the most trustworthy sort.
Yeah, you could figure that, but keep in mind just in case.
Has anyone else said anything about some hooded so-and-so?
Well,
What?
He kind of scratches his face. No, I don't believe so. It was just Tyrus and 8 points. That bloke there. He doesn't seem to actually know this guy's name. They talked about it, but aside from that, I know there was one man. There were these odd types in the bar about a week ago. Two blokes kind of dressed up real nice. They probably bastards came from coins or purses, and they had these things on their faces, so we couldn't see them. They were talking to everybody about the old moor house, but they didn't seem to be wearing no hooded cloaks, so I didn't think much of it. People want to look into that. Yeah, that ancient demon shite is none of my business.
Yeah, the old moor house is something all of you, especially Delilah, knows about. The old moor house belonged, I'm talking decades ago, belonged to an infamous demonologist.
Demonologist?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to do that.
Demonologists aren't
Advice,
the best.
no, you don't.
Okay.
Demonologists tend not to be the best folks. They're kind of obsessed with the destruction of all things most of the time, and the acquisition of power at any cost.
Never mind. I want their name, though.
You'll claim to be one even when you're not, and then get put at the stake, but be like, I sound so awesome.
And I'm screaming in pain.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. I see. That is another interesting set of things. Well, thank you so much for your information, kind sir. I'll leave you to your patron.
Yeah.
The guy just goes back to what he was doing, cleaning some dirty glasses with a dirty rag and accomplishing just about nothing.
Fun. At least he's trying.
Yeah.
A for effort.
More like a C+.
E for effort.
Okay, that'll work. You know what you need to do is you need to soak the rag in beer and clean the glass with the beer-soaked rag because you're cleaning it with alcohol, so it's now effectively clean and sterile.
That is definitely an option.
I don't think that's the type of alcohol they're really...
No. Or you could just not clean the glass because there's been alcohol in it, and it's fine.
Well, you gotta give it a rinse at least with the alcohol.
In any case, though, do you have further, you don't seem to have further questions for this guy, so what is your plan from here?
I thought we were going to head back
to Grain Way.
Yeah. And
just sort of wait there for a while?
I assume it won't take that long because I assume it took us about as much time to get here as it took them to get to redemption.
All right. Well, let's find out. Let's see how long they can go.
How long are we just chilling at Greenway?
It literally said, and they're like, oh my god. Okay. But yes, Alistair, Frank, you head to Redemptions.
We ignore the orphans begging for alms for the poor.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Please.
Get away from me, peasant!
Just slaps him. Okay. So you arrive back at the Church of the New God. Father Deary is still there. He's just sort of doing his thing. He's no longer, specifically deigning to warn everybody about everything. He's already done that. He's just sort of,
Father, a moment, if you would.
He looks back your way.
Hello. Yes, of course. What do you need?
It actually pertains to the good father. We went over to his location, to the shrine, and we found one of the doors in the back ajar and went to investigate. And from that investigation, we found some things that we'd like you to perhaps, if you could possibly ascertain the nature of it, as they've left us quite curious.
I can try.
I direct him to, I guess, a part further in the back, so there's less normal peasants seeing this in case it's suspicious.
all right.
Like, I'm showing the scroll, the theurgy scroll. I'm like,
Okay. So the theurgy scroll, he kind of reaches a hand for, he picks it up.
Oh, yes, of course. I know this. Suppose he's just practicing, I suppose. It's all right.
He puts it in his own pocket.
what would that have been?
It's some magic to try and keep himself safe.
As
Safe from what?
currently stands, we may have found a lead on where he is. If that's something that would allow us to stay safe, that would possibly then be useful to us, unless, of course, you would be willing to come along with us.
I do have things I need to take care of here. Besides, I don't believe you can use that sort of magic, can you?
I actually produced the other scroll that I have, and I'm like, actually, I've been taking tutelage from the, God damn it, what's his name? Not Carimbus? It's Carimbus, right?
Charybdis.
I've been actually taking Charybdis and shown in affinity for things more so than most.
It won't do you much good to consort with that type.
Perhaps not, but I'll take what help I can get if it allows us to find a valued member of the community like Father Gregory, and more so if it allows me to find my niece once more.
He pulls it back out of his pocket and he kind of points it in your direction.
The spell is to denounce another. It imbues them with righteous fear of the divine one that you serve. I'm afraid it likely will do nothing for you, as far as I'm aware.
Oh,
Perhaps that he looks to Frank.
Perhaps you would like it.
And he kind of actually takes the scroll you gave him and kind of holds it at Frank.
Perhaps you could use it.
No, we'll be traveling together. I suppose I'll hang on to it.
I could certainly translate it for him if he needs translations.
Yes, it would likely do best with someone of some faith.
I take the scroll.
The proper one. You piece of shit. Oh yeah, but just totally remaining like as impartial a practiced political face as you can, like yes. Here you go, Frank. I'll provide you the words you'll need to say with that once we're free. Of the second thing I need to mention is this, and provide the weird vial.
Okay.
And then I also provide the small pamphlet and this. We fear this may have been left behind by whoever visited and left the door ajar.
Pamphlet?
The little scrap with the demons.
Oh, the scrap
on
paper,
it.
okay.
I'm like, this may have been left behind by whoever visited him.
Okay.
Or that shrine.
So he takes it and he looks at the crumpled paper. I don't recognize this. He shrugs and he hands it back to you. Not trying to keep it for himself this time.
Yeah.
He looks. He barely touches. He barely touches the vial though. He picks it up gingerly between an index finger and a thumb. Looks at it like he's holding a dead rat and just puts it right back in your hand.
I don't deal with that sort of thing.
So it wouldn't be a restorative that you could place, something that you might use to recover the sickly?
Not myself. I do so with my faith and my knowledge of medicine. As much as I can.
So this wouldn't then fall under proper medicine. Would you know of anyone who would be able to ascertain what this does?
I'm afraid I'm not preacher.
I am but a simple priest.
Yes, I am a father. I do not deal with these sorts of things.
Well, I should best leave you to tend to your flock then. At the very least, I thank you for the enlightenment you provided on the scroll, and I can only hope that it provides us help in delivering Father Gregory back to the fold.
I hope so as well.
Well, it's going well. The numbers on the search have more than doubled. So I feel like we'll probably find out something soon.
I can hope. Blessings be upon you both.
He's looking at Frank, not Alistair.
Yeah, I know. I picked that one. I'm like, A fair afternoon to you as well. And I go to shimmy off.
And I follow behind.
Excellent. I don't think that actually took us all that long. So now it's just the whole thing of how long this takes us to get back to Green Way.
Honestly, it doesn't take you that long. Frankly, you probably actually get back before they do.
Oh, good. In that case, since we get there first, I make sure to look as bored as possible, as though I've been waiting a long time.
Okay.
Also, is the scroll written in high archaic? Because I can read that.
It is a scroll written in. Wait, you can read? All right, you're a writer. Of course you can read. I don't automatically assume everyone.
Of course you can.
Other than Julio is like illiterate.
It's like all these peasants, none of them can read.
And yes, it is written in hierarchy.
Okay.
Oh no, the writer just puts down symbols and then publishes it. He doesn't actually read.
For all I know, he just scribbles like penis symbols and it's a bestseller because of all the audience passes.
Yeah, did you know none of my audience can read either? They just look at the page.
I just like looking at the dicks.
So, you all meet up again around 4:30.
Okay.
How did your search go, Tulio? Choir boy. Stares at Delilah and is like, I don't think I got your name.
Hunk of burning love. I mean,
She just stares back at you silently.
She's just
Not quite
standing
sure
there.
I'm a fan. Oh yeah, it
Menacingly.
looks reminiscent of like the one person my grandfather didn't like, as I recall. So it's like a you do you then.
Also, if you ever get tired of Choir Boy, I usually go by Freckles.
Nice to meet you, Freckles. And of course, you as well, Silent One. I'm Frank Diaz from the Church of the New God.
Author. Actually a valuable member of the community that contributes and is literate. And then like looks meaningfully over at Tulio and gives him like an affirming nod.
Just kind of do the like smirk, smug, like one eyebrow up, like yes. Anyway, I believe we may have found some kind of lead. The barkeep was of very little help, but he did say something about the moors and some strange people talking about that place. Also, apparently there's some hooded man that comes round in the night and hides in the shadow, a boogie woogie woo.
Yeah,
Well,
that's not
it's
quite
going
as
to be-
trustworthy.
Next
His
is going to
name.
be a bunch of fairies all wearing a cloak at night. It's just
The
a
hooded man's name?
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh no.
no,
He's
no.
coming with a knife.
God.
It's Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my god. It's going to be canon that the man in the hooded thing is just going to be like a group of 13 fairies all wearing the costume at once. That's why it runs away.
Cheese it!
Yes, well, anyways, not talking about hooded fairies stealing off with children. So the Moor House is a lead. On our end, we weren't able to find out anything about the vial, but the scroll was actually apparently some form of preparation for defense of magics. Best suited to Frank, it seems. His devout faith apparently grants him the fuel to use that sort of thing.
Ah, yes,
He
Astrid.
really didn't like me. It's just like, that's a smirk. That's like,
I can't imagine why.
Oh, Alistair, you really need to work on your people skills.
I'm sure it was fine. He'll warm up to you eventually.
certainly. I mean, I can be all sorts of warm when I actually encounter meaningful individuals. This is like a smile at Tulio.
Quite. You seem to be quite adequate at warming up.
Glance at
Just smile.
kind of like
Yeah, it's just like a you wound me.
we're just kind of like, really? You like him?
Who are you giving the look to, him or me?
Miguel. Kind of like,
You
Really?
like this guy?
yeah.
He has his uses.
Really?
So I am Tulio. So
Tulio,
far.
sorry, I forgot.
There is only Tulio.
Tulio.
Julio.
Just Tulio.
He has his uses. Just Tulio, like Madonna.
Madonna.
But if our leads lead us to the Moor House, then I suppose we can go head our merry way there and see if we can find some hooded fairies or men, as you mentioned, maybe the more mundane and reasonable answer.
Yeah. Let's do
Nice.
that.
I suppose we should start heading there.
Alrighty.
Off to see the fairies, the wonderful fairies of crossings.
Dark Waters, actually, the wonderful fairies of Dark Crossing, since that's where they originate from. The Moor House is just their latest haunt, where they go and steal children and replace them with changelings. Oh my.
Now, a lot of you head to the north, towards where you all know the Moor House to be. In the most rundown part of Grievings, you find the Moor House, a 2-story building of stone with a partly collapsed peaked roof. Dead grass chokes the small yard out front, and boards cover the house's windows and front door. Now, you do note, as you're approaching, that the boards that once covered the back door lay on the ground.
I mean, is anyone around?
Well, there's still a whole bunch of houses around here, so
I mean, anything else? Like anyone about? Because otherwise, is it just like abandoned, decrepit looking?
people tend to avoid this place like the plague got the plague.
Okay, so it is a desolate, abandoned house that should be looking completely boarded up, but not. So, oh, did also any of us find the good sergeant, or are we?
Perhaps she's out wandering at night. It's approaching night, but it's 5 p.m. at this point. So the sun's getting lower, but it's not down yet.
That's like night in wintertime.
Yeah, Alistair's like looking at it, and he's just like looking very uncomfortable, actually. He's like, so I suppose we ought to investigate, correct?
Yeah, let's head in, I guess. We can go in through where the boards are.
Possibly haunted demon house?
Yeah, why not? What, are you scared? Do we need to go get some guards for you?
Yes, probably. You should do that.
It's like that look of like, I rise to the provocation. I'll have you know I am a member of the very house, and our metal is of sterner stuff than that. Bluster, bluster, bluster. Fired. But you should still lead the way.
Okay.
I'll have you know you suck. Anyways. So.
He does like follow directly behind you though.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Delilah, I believe it was. You can go first.
Probably the best.
And she's like, 'cause I'm the best.
Oh,
You're obviously the best and most well-suited out of all of us.
Now,
I cannot argue that.
And I'll follow behind Delilah in that case. Delilah, well, she's the best, and I'll follow her.
and actually, that's quite valid, Frank, because should anything show up, you might be able to rebuke them with those words that symbolize your faith, like the good father said.
Yes, all demons turn when faced with Astrid and the new god.
Mm-hmm.
true. They're all absolutely terrified.
Mm-hmm. The most scariest thing, their one weakness.
Their one weakness. Fear.
My eyes.
Religion. No, there aren't any of those in the world.
No! How did you discern my weakness?
Still better than garlic.
All right.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Not quite as awesome as a box of Kellogg's cereal. I'll deal with that.
Ah, God! Wait, is that Frosted Flakes? Yes. Aha! The one that I am not weak to.
Frosted Flakes.
Oh, it would have still actually ended what I dealt with, but it was Rice Krispies.
What?
The Jiangxi compulsive counter.
Oh, yes. It's just, you sound so serious right now. It would have ended what I was dealing with. Rice Krispies. Like,
You don't know war until you fought something with Frosted Flakes.
Jesus Christ.
in any case, as you're all approaching, there are two individuals stepping out that look like some local toughs. There's two guys that are maybe not in the best kind of clothing, but they do look like they know how to handle themselves. And they step out, sneering, got their nostrils flared, got the typical auburn hair that you see a lot among the lower class of the city. Like, a lot of them have red hair. And kind of got these... You can see one guy's missing a couple teeth. Another guy seems to have some sort of scar that twists on his chin, like somebody gouged something out there. But regardless, they step near the house, between you and the house specifically, and they fold their arms.
Oi.
Hello.
What you want?
I just forgot what I
What
was
you
going to
doing
say.
around here?
We had some business to attend to here.
I don't think you do.
Oh, actually, we do. Alistair Very, we're here to actually evaluate the worth of the property for a recent renovation project for the city.
That's a shame. Turns out it's worthless. We checked ourselves. You can fuck off now.
Oh, I'm Frank Diaz. I was actually looking for a hooded fellow in this area. Maybe you've seen him.
Hooded fella.
You know any hooded fellas? The other guy, I don't know any hooded fellas, because they certainly don't come around here. Guess they're somewhere else.
Stares at Frank. You're asking about the fairies in the cloak. The pile of fairies in a cloak running off carrying babies, really.
12 of them, to be exact.
Tulio, would you like a turn at this?
Tell me, my good sir, is your boss perhaps around? Because I think he'd want to have a talk with us. Is he?
So, well, let me just see if I can find my boss. You just wait right there, all right?
And he turns around and he slowly walks around the other guy, just whistling and being a bit of a jackass. Okay, being a huge jackass. Taking long steps and doing a little jig as he walks around him before finally going right back where he was and tapping himself on the shoulders and speaking in a bit of a very terrible accent.
Oi, I'm the boss. What you want?
Like it's dead serious.
Would be a good start at this point.
Oh, certainly. Kindly go fuck yourself. Fuck off.
At that point, he like pats his side and he pulls out a long knife. And I'm not talking like kitchen knife. I'm talking like this is about a foot long.
He's played Knifey Spoony before. We get it. This ain't a knife. This is a knife. So it's like a leaning on walking stick, and then it's like sort of pops it up into one hand and leans on my shoulder. It's like, I am a modest individual with very little that I want in this life other than to perhaps scrabble back to where I once was.
And maybe get laid for the first time in your fucking life.
When he says modest, like Kai behind him, like those quotation marks, like modest.
Quotes. But there is some important business that I need to attend to that does involve this house. I do believe that it matters a great deal. There's been a few people, in fact, who it pertains to, and the fact that it impacts so heavily upon my family business, and that we go and look into this means I don't have the time for pissants like you. And I try and intimidate check it.
By the way, what's like the name of really massive
Criminal guy.
noble house that would have a lot of sway in the city?
Sorry, massive. What kind?
Noble house.
Massive like noble house or something that would have a lot of sway in the city.
I desperately want you to say very because that would be hilarious. But no, you would know, but you definitely know, especially since you know, Alistair, that the Varies are out of favor.
Yeah, I figured he was smart enough to know that. Otherwise, he would have just said that.
This is my friend. Okay, but anyway.
No, he introduced himself, so it's obvious on the behalf of his own thing, but if they're saying we're also here on the behalf, so basically you're helping me bluff.
Okay, so one of the guys you wouldn't know, there's a few of the people on the council are probably who you're thinking about. So there's there's the mayor. Her name is Katrin Edgerton. Excuse me. There's Elder Fob, who represents the halflings. There is Father Paulus, who is the he champions the entire religion of the new god.
Paulus tied to like the churches, because we're here on sort of church business, right? So if we
he is the representative of the Church of the New God in this city, the entire thing.
Finger guns. I'm doing finger guns at you right now. You can't see it.
That's probably the one. Now, I really do hate to take up most of your time, gentlemen, and you obviously seem to be in rather poor spirits. I mean, who can really blame you? We're in this shithole of an area. But
looks pretty nice to me. Kind of looks like your mum's tracks.
We are here strictly on business from Hollis, you see, and
Paulus, but
what was it?
Paulus.
Yeah, Hollis.
Paulus, like the Apostle Paul.
Yeah, Paulus.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Strictly on business from Paulus, and really don't feel like disappointing him. I believe he said something about flogging. Nasty business.
Delilah.
Ooh. Yeah, that sounds like it'd be pretty bad for you. I wonder what he'd think about it if I poked lots of holes in your guts and hung you outside his window.
Well, he'd probably diverge the entire city guard on you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course he would. Because he's going to send...
And hold on. And he's pointing specifically at a lot of you who, of course, can't afford really nice clothing. The first finger actually goes to Alistair. Not even anybody else. Alistair.
You got shit all over your fucking outfit. You don't look like no fucking noble. You look like a scam artist,
He says, not looking at the two fucking scam artists.
Yeah, I see you.
And he points at Delilah.
Look at you. You're one of them kinky hoes, ain't you? Yeah, we know your type. You get all buff up so that the poor, weak, scrawny men can have a good time.
Excuse you?
Excuse you, you fucking whore. Don't you come trotting to me telling me a bunch of filthy vagabonds and layabouts like you is going to come around here. You don't hold yourself like you're some sort of professionals. You look like you're a bunch of louts.
And the other guy, by the way, is now staring at this guy, just going,
What are you talking about? What?
I was
How
wondering.
tall is this dude?
he's about like 5'10". He's not like too super tall, but he's reasonably tall. He's fairly thin, but he's got scrawny muscle to him. Like
Sarge?
he could very clearly stab you with that.
I was wondering if I could kind of back off and go where like they can't see me and turn into a cat and try to get around them.
You can try and like leave in general, but they are of course
yeah.
looking at you. Like if you step behind people, they'll be like, "Hey, look, that person just turned into a cat behind someone."
Yeah,
But
I
if you
was
just,
like,
leave. You can.
yeah. I'm
Is that
just
your
gonna,
idea?
yeah, I'm just going to walk off a little bit.
Okay. So you're doing that. Alistair, you were saying?
How like intimidating does black speech sound like? Because he's like getting purple in the face, livid at this point.
Well, it can be fairly scary, though. You seem to be dealing with one of the most terrifying enemies of all time. A random Luke who's actually intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other guy you can probably intimidate. Like, the other guy seems completely baffled by what this guy is saying. He's just like, "What are you talking about?"
Would it be
I'm
like a
just-"
generalized intimidate check and just see if one of them peels out when they hear something just fucking aberrant?
Try. But
Yeah.
then again, like
So-
randomly shouting things is something drunk people do too. So it depends on how. Honestly, the more they know about that sort of stuff, the more they might find it intimidating. Elsewise, you're probably going to sound like you're barfing words at them.
Good point. So it's actually going to be a lead-in of... Technically, we are here on behalf of Father Paulus because of the disappearance of Father Gregory. But we do have personal investments in it, and we'd quite kindly appreciate you to leave because unfortunately you've become a major impediment to this investigation. And you might be all cock and balls about this, but your compatriot here doesn't quite look like he'd enjoy four... Yeah, like glances four people possibly taking to task with him. Fuck off kindly, you pathetic curs. And then I just say some, like, basically an expletive in dark speech because it's, you know, a horrible, brutish, awful looking language.
Okay.
Any boons, banes, whatever, have on will check.
Well, I'll see whether you have a bane or not. One sec. Yeah, okay. So the guy who actually seems to know what he's doing leans over, nudges.
Hey, look, one of them already pissed their pants and ran away. I bet we can find the piss trail if we go over and take a sniff.
He is.
He's
like,
so he's supporting his ally. So you're making this check with a bane.
okay, I'll roll the. Whew.
Just roll a 1.
Just roll me a 1. I rolled a 1. For the
right.
only time that would have been nice.
Okay, so the one guy, he looks reassured by the laughter and like, yeah, piss. And that clears his throat, and he's not really looking at you guys. He's got his knife out regardless, but he's not really looking at any of you at this point. He's distracted.
I've worked with Tulio in past. There's like a faint memory that maybe I worked with him prior to the mage, but probably not actually him. But I've worked with him since. And it's the main nuisance, Tulio.
The main nuisance.
How long?
It's an incline. It's like looking over at Mr. Thug, who's all super intelligent stuff, and he readjusts his hold on the staff so it goes from holding near the middle to now both hands are on it, and they sort of slide apart, so it looks like he's more properly getting ready to like clock the guy.
Like he
wants me to clock him with it. Okay.
Just keep in mind that you are not yet close enough to.
I know. It's just
okay.
the like making sure like he'd be like he doesn't want to be the only one to go for it and just be like, I want to knock this guy out.
How long does it take me to leave, turn into a cat, and come back? Like, do I hear any of this conversation that's going on?
Well, at this point you have left, so like quote unquote left. So you're out of sight. And how long does it take to turn into a cat? You say?
It's an
interesting
action.
Question. Oh, it's just an action. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
It's like done.
Pile of clothes somewhere. They're
that is
open
No,
when you come
it-
back.
It turns, like, it melds into your body.
And
So,
that's it.
like-
You are still like stuck there basically for now. You've already taken your action.
Yeah.
It still makes that farting sound though when she does.
Yeah. That's all the clothes and items being sucked into my body.
Okay. So
Reverse farts.
Ew. Speaking of which, is anyone else like pitching in with these guys? Because the one guy isn't like just has his mind set up. Anything common doesn't seem to be intimidating him. He's picked you apart for now, and unless you can somehow make him shaken, he's probably not changing his mind anytime soon. The other guy is distracted. It's not like he's like looking the other way, but he's not paying attention to what you're doing, so he's not picking up anything subtle that you're doing.
I kind of have a distraction in mind. Maybe.
You're going to kick him in the balls. All right.
No, not that.
I was hoping.
This reminds me of the time Linda beat up a couple of thugs with her magic staff.
Something funny.
I pull out my, I guess it's a stake or something.
When Alistair kind of, readjusts grip a little bit, I'm assuming you're not actually grabbing it with two hands because that'd be too offensive looking. Just.
Oh no, he's like.
Well, no. I'm talking like you want to make it more subtle.
Oh, that yeah.
Just kind of like, indicating like I'm gonna fucking clock him.
Yeah, that is like
I'm
a.
gonna kick his ass. I'm gonna beat his ass.
I want to fucking clock him.
My duty's been impugned enough.
Just when he was doing that, kind of start walking around. It's really, really funny that you think that you have us all figured out. You seem like a pretty smart lad. Tell me, why are you even here? Like in this area?
I don't think that's any of your business. Your business is the opposite way. Following after your piss trail friend.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned the opposite way, because apparently you're really bad at watching your door. And I point towards the door, like to act like it's open.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That works. Okay. Make me.
Please God, if this is how this guy goes out, I'm gonna be so.
What?
Thank you, God. If you give me anything in this game, give me this.
If you give me anything, give me this.
Okay. I suppose that would be probably Will, but let me take a quick. Nah. This is definitely intellect. Okay. Make me an intellect check.
Hey, isn't that the stat you actually made good, Virus?
Yeah. I'm assuming no boons or banes.
No, but you can make the check in general. So,
Oh no!
was that a natural one?
It was a natural one.
Oh no.
All right. Okay. He slowly kind of cracks a grin.
Funny you should say that, actually.
And he loosely folds his arms, still holding the knife out in front of himself, and he gently nods behind you.
I'm not looking.
Okay.
I'm just still pointing with this like dumbfounded look on my face.
I mean,
Okay.
Alistair's like, glance.
Alistair takes a look.
Oh, he totally does.
Okay.
Because he's like, but this is get worse.
Okay.
Bless you, dice.
Oh yeah, he incidentally has like that look of like frustration and termination. So it's just like that really grim look as he looks backwards to probably empty air.
Right now, Kai, this is something you actually can see.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy said, like, even before Alistair looks back, this guy's like,
Funny you should say that.
and he nods behind him. And as he says that, actually, there's a third guy with red hair who comes out from one of the abandoned buildings. And he's got a throwing knife in his hands, and he's leaning that hand back.
Oh. Can I do anything about that?
You can try.
Yeah, can I just jump at him from the side as a cat? See if he...
You can just try and take a flying leap at his face. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, Delilah, how high can cats jump?
Pretty damn high.
Also,
Okay,
they're aggressive
so-
territorial shits all the time. I know that from being
They are.
by the cat sitting on my desk.
I believe you. Okay, so make me a strength check. Or are you just trying to startle him? Are you trying to kind of attack him?
Yeah, I'm kind of just startle him, kind of knock him off what he's doing.
Okay, a will check then.
A will check? Why couldn't it be an agility check? Hold on.
You weren't aiming for his balls. Have to be really agile to get them both with one paw swipe.
Will is 9, so that's a -1. 18.
Wow.
Okay, so he now has a bane on them. Okay, so all of you immediately hear as this hissing cat comes leaping out of nowhere and grabs onto this guy's side, and he's
Hissing cat whose fur looks like his hair, Kai's hair.
yeah, so it's kind of like an orangey color.
Yeah.
He turns
That's the
around
streaks.
and he shouts, and you just hear this ah, and he's lost the sneak attack. So you can immediately hear there actually is somebody behind you.
I am glad
And
I
then-
turned.
Yeah, and then he whips a dagger at you, specifically at Miguel, who was the original target to be sneak attacked, but is no longer sneak attacked because you can hear the attack coming.
Oh, yeah.
So
They tried to kill us.
they did.
Guess that
Okay,
means
Miguel.
we try to kill them.
What's your defense again?
11.
Oh, lucky you. Okay, so Miguel, you basically hear this and turn around, and just as you do, this guy throws this dagger at you. Basically, you barely manage to kind of skid out of the way. The dagger kind of bounces off your chest and clatters to the ground, or more, I guess, thumps to the ground. It is a dirt road. And the one guy who's the smart, quote-unquote, thug just sneers, gives the other guy a shove to kind of snap him out of his distraction.
It's go time. Cut him up.
And they are actively engaging you.
Get the smart one first.
Now, the surprise round is over, and we will have to, of course, pick up next time. It is getting a bit late, and I do need to wrap things up. But next join, we will be doing a proper combat against the Rude Boys.
Darude boys.
I mean, they
No,
lived
no.
up to their name.
with a TH. At least one of them is smart enough to use TH. Next.
One of them smart enough to use TH. They might have forgotten the E.
Rude boys.
It's the mirror of the
Rude
list
boys.
that came with getting their teeth.
Rude boys.
The rude boys.
Rude.
Third.
And Kai is a cat.
Important things to note.
Guy is a cat.
Kai was catapulted at an enemy.
Why did you roll a 1d1?
I'm just trying to keep my things from disappearing like they have before. But in any case, anyone who's watching or has watched, thank you for joining us. Next Wednesday, about a week from now, we will get back to this and see whether the Intrepid Explorers can deal with the Rude Boys.
And how many of us are going to die from the first encounter? Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
That too. Lower the curtain.
And yeah, thanks for joining in, folks. If you enjoyed this, feel free to leave comments. We'll pass them on to the members of the cast as they arrive, and try to see if there's any sort of constructive criticism that we can put to use in making the show better. Bear in mind, this is a sort of test first season, so if this does do well enough, we'll be more than happy to work on a second season involving other modules, either already sort of pre-made, like the Tale of the Demon Lord module, or even a more custom one. Anyways, if you also want to see more indie gaming or tabletop related content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to actually get an alert when we post something new. And that's all, and we'll see you folks next time.